Hi and hello everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for our weekly track roundup, my thoughts on a bunch of songs that have dropped over the past week or so. Whether I loved them, or hated them, or felt somewhere in between, we're going to link them all down below so you can check them out for yourselves and make your own opinions, maybe even. So yeah, that's the deal with this video. Also linked down below, of course, our Turntable Lab link. If you use it to buy some vinyl, some turntable stuff, some anything, we get kickback from it on the channel, and that would be really nice. That would be really helpful. Even more helpful would be subscribing to our Patreon page. Full recordings and broadcasts of our New Music Friday streams, extra bonus monthly content, like a little exclusive to Patreon only Let's Argue that we do every month, classic album live streams. Check it out. Also linked down below, our T&D Streams channel, where we put up other stream clips, and our Shorts page, where we put up our short form content. You know what it is. Subscribe today. All right. Sorry if I cough ahead of time in this video. The worst tracks of the week are as follows. We have a few of those. New one from ZAYN. ZAYN is still continuing to convince us that this singer-songwriter arc is the way, but it's not. It is boring as sin. Let's move on with this track, Stardust. I'm not feeling starry nor dusty on this one, or maybe more dusty than starry. All right, we also have an awful cover of Talking Heads' Psycho Killer that lands on this new Stop Making Sense tribute album. Miley Cyrus should have just not been allowed to do this. It should have been made illegal, passed, law, Congress, but we live in a dysfunctional society. All right, moving on from there. Ian, Never Stop. This is terrible. Just listen to Playboy Cardi instead. This is awful. Save yourself a stream. Save yourself a minute. Save yourself a headache. Just move on with your life. You don't need this. Moving on from there. Also, not really feeling the new Chance the Rapper single, despite being excited going into it, because it does have a DJ Premier beat on it. Does have a DJ Primo beat, and kind of like in the narrative and some of the lyrical framing on the track, as it is, about like family and getting together and, having those close personal connections with your loved ones, with your relatives. But Chance's delivery and his rapping, it's just obnoxious, over the top. The ad-lib is not cutting it anymore, and I kind of feel like the beat is really choppy as well. Not one of Primo's better pieces of production, I'll say that. All right, moving on to the tracks I was kind of meh on. You might like them more than me. They are as follows. This new Trust track, never really been into their kind of synthy, goth, dark wave pop type stuff. But, I was really kind of feeling the thick, drony, dreamy mix on this new track over here quite a bit soon, even if I thought the song was a little one-dimensional. Also, new track from Serj Tankian of System of a Down fame. AF Day is the name of this one. And while, I feel like the political, straightforward, very kind of alarm, the world is shit lyrics that are going on through this track, they hit. The vocals are fine, and on the instrumental end, it's just kind of missing something. It's just missing that specific System of a Down chaos and flavor, and I just wish it was there. Moving on from there, we also have a new one from Los Campesinos. They're back. They're sounding bright and pop punky and indie rocky, and it's not too bad. I've never been a huge fan of the band myself, but A Psychic Wound, as far as songwriting, production, performance, is a pretty solid all-around single for this style and vibe. Moving on from there, we have a new one from Lido, Pimienta, and this new very lengthy cut from her, which there's a shorter version, there is a longer version as well. Venido al Mar is very kind of dreamy. It's linear, it's hypnotic, it's very Björk-esque as well. Not really the kind of, specific rustic rootsy flavors that I enjoyed with some of her older stuff. But, if you're looking for something that is lengthy and very art poppy, you might dig on this track. All right, moving on from there, we have a new one as well from Empire of the Sun. Just really not kind of getting the appeal of this track. The hook is kind of on the nose and annoying. The grooves are there though, even if the instrumental just kind of sounds like a combo of MGMT and Tame Impala if they did a collab. And Bebe Rexha. came out with a new track, Chase It. Kind of sounds like some late 90s, early 2000s dance pop vibes. Very hypnotic, very low-key, a little Kylie Minogue, but not a terrible garbage interpolation or anything like that as far as I've picked up. Just kind of seems like a nice revisitation to an older style, done very kind of tastefully and thoughtfully, even if it's not blowing me away, and it does feel kind of a little, I'll say, unoriginal. It's well assembled and it's well pulled off. All right, best tracks of the week. Let me get to those. They are as follows. We have T-Pain over here totally killing it on the vocals with this powerful brand new ballad type track, On This Hill. We also have a few tastes of the upcoming Fire-Toolz record. Angel has come through with a couple of tracks here that see her going in kind of a death metal direction, but kind of, fusing that with the usual electronic mayhem that Fire-Toolz is known for. And the fusion is incredible. The vocals are pulled off really well, too. If you're a death metal fan and you're looking for something that is going to be even further left field than some of your favorite odd acts in the genre, you're going to want to give this one a shot over here. The very interesting title is The Envy of the Heavenly Powers. Next over here, we also have a track from the upcoming Shygirl Club Shy remix record. So it's a new version of the track Tell Me, which is quite hypnotic and groovy. That liking this one a lot. Moving on from there, Peggy Gao has a new track that's bringing some 90s dance floor vibes with Lobster Telephone. Not the only track that's kind of scratching this itch in this weekly track roundup. So, keep an eye out for the next one. Moving on from there, NxWorries, Anderson .Paak, Knowledge are back with a soaring, powerful soul type cut. Reminds me a lot of Silk Sonic, but it's a little more grimy. Snoop Dogg is also in the cut. Great vocals from October London as well. From Here is the name of the track, and it's stellar. It's fantastic. It's again, glistening, soulful, soaring, beautiful, pretty powerful cut, and I'm even more excited for this upcoming album, having heard it. All right, we have Lupe Fiasco, who has a kind of a short record on the way very soon titled Samurai. We have our first taste of it with the title track. And you know what? Even though I was a little skeptical, given some of the stuff Lupe's been saying online about the Kendrick and Drake stuff, and also this record kind of being uncharacteristically miniature for your typical Lupe project. This is some really classy lyrical jazz rap where he's really kind of rapping his ass off and pulling together some great writing too. So actually, and any sort of skepticism I had pretty much dashed as of right now. My only fear is that the whole thing is going to be killer and it's going to be so brief, I'm going to wish there was more. But, I suppose that's not the worst thing in the world. All right, we have another taste of this upcoming album from Lewis Cole, who is working with a full orchestra on this record named the Metropole Orkest. Jules Buckley is in the mix as well. Life is the name of this new track, and there are some truly psycho string hits all over this track. And, usually anything super fast, groovy, and jazz-oriented, once you start bringing an orchestra into the fold, things get a little slower, maybe a little bit more flabby, ill-defined, I'll say. Like you kind of lose some of those core jazz characteristics, and the members of the band at a bass line sort of start playing to the orchestra rather than the other way around. However, I would say that is very much not the case on this track. This track is fast, it's intense. They really have the orchestra moving at a fast clip to keep up with the drums and the jazz fusion bass lines and everything that is going on all over this track. It's pure insanity, and it's actually kind of mind-blowing. I'm going to be spinning this one a lot before the record here Nothing eventually releases. Also, want to shout out this new project from Ravenna Hunt Hendrix's Liturgy. As with her last full-length LP, things have really kind of come full circle for the Liturgy project. And now, Hendrix is basically going back to the earliest Liturgy material, Immortal Life, that era of the project of the band, and is basically like redoing all of those older tracks now with new performances, new recordings, and everything, which is pretty awesome. So we've linked one of those tracks below, so you can check that out for yourself. Because hell yeah! All right, moving on from there, a bit of an older track here. But I still want to shout it out because the album it's from is on the way very soon. This is the track Mouth Flash from Hakushi Hasegawa. This thing is an intense, bright, jazzy, almost math rocky mayhem type cut that is not only a total and utter beating performance-wise because it's that detailed, it's that relentless, but it's also just bright and silly and a little tongue-in-cheek as well in a way that just kind of lightens the mood, brings again some brightness to the track that I feel like is kind of necessary for something this intense. Would have a much different tone to it if the kind of vibe were darker, much darker than this. All right, moving on from there, Bad Bad Not Good have a new EP out, a new smaller kind of miniature type album. Mid Spiral, I believe, is the title. I want to link to the track Weird and Wonderful here. It is weird and wonderful. In fact, the instrumentals off it I've heard so far are soulful, are funky, are groovy as heck, have kind of an old school flavor to the production as well, in a way that is super tasteful. And this is just kind of one of a couple great tracks I've heard from it so far. You should listen to it too. And finally, shout out to none other than producer extraordinaire Baauer, who is also bringing, like I said earlier, 90s dance pop vibes on this new track over here in a way that's super fire. Love the vocal samples throughout the track. Love the endless grooves. It's very bright. It's very light. It's very old school. Really kind of feels like a great throwback to the club. And I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to shout out in this weekly track roundup. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you got some good recommendations out of this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Anthony Fantano, Weekly Tracks, forever.